Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And y'all know what? It's Wimbledon time. We're very excited here.
Grass time.
Yes, sir. And this is our 2019 Wimbledon preview show. And so what we're going to do is basically take you through the draw and tell you kind of who we think will win, who we think will have good matches. And just go through it and hopefully find some good things that you can look out for as we go through the 2 weeks of Wimbledon. Bryce, what are you excited about as it relates to this Wimbledon?
Well, I just love the summer season for tennis in general. I mean, we come out of the French. We have a couple of warm-ups going into Wimbledon. And then Wimbledon with all the formality and prestige and traditions, just such a big tournament in the year. I love the style of play on grass. And even when Wimbledon is over, you know that you have the big hard court season coming up. You have a lot of U.S. tournaments and culminating in the U.S. Open. I just love this whole season of tennis. But this Wimbledon, there are some huge storylines in a lot of these matches, and I just can't wait for us to jump into it.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start talking about the ladies' draw. So we're going to go ahead and start at the top of the draw and work our way down. So the first half of the draw is Ash Barty, number 1 seed for the first time. And she's got a pretty interesting section, Bryce. She's got a lot of good, interesting names in there. You've got folks like Muguruza in there. You got Vekic, who has had a really good year and a really good summer in there. Our girl Bencic, who has been showing out of late. You've got Julia Gerges, who was in the final last week, as well as, of course, Angie Kerber. But we cannot forget who is in that section. The Queen, Miss Serena Williams.
The Queen.
Yes, sir. So I'm telling you, man, this is actually a pretty nice little section. I mean, how do you see anything in here that just kind of that you're looking forward to or you think will be good, Bryce?
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't think that this is a nice section of the draw, and that would be Ash Barty. I know she's thinking, I get the number 1 draw. I'm supposed to have the cake draw, right?
Right.
And if she wanted to feel a certain kind of way about this draw, if she wanted to feel like somebody was hating on her or did not like her, this draw would be some evidence towards that thought. This is a tough one. And I don't know. I kind of feel sorry for everybody who's in it because not only do you have Ash Barty in there, but Muguruza, who is a Wimbledon champion.
Yes.
Like you said, Donna Vekic has been playing well on the grass. Belinda Bencic has been playing well all over. And she just made it to the finals of the tournament that she lost to Kenin.
That's right.
And then, I mean, you have potentially the greatest women player of all time, Serena Williams, in there, and Julia Gerges, who is quite dangerous on grass. Angelique Kerber, who is, I believe, the defending champion from last year. It just,
I mean, Bryce,
it's hot in there.
There are 3 Wimbledon champions in Barty's section, in Serena Williams, in Muguruza, and in Kerber. So, I mean, they, like you said, they did not set her up for success.
And I think didn't they say there were 6 people who had won a Grand Slam in there? Because you have Barty,
that's right,
who's in there. You have Sharapova.
Yep, that's
who is in
that's right.
that section, right? You didn't even name Miss Sharapova. Oh, how far have we fallen?
Right.
But yeah, it's wow. It is hot up in there.
It's hot.
It is really, really hot up in there.
What in there do you see as good potential matchups as far as just go first round on? What are you seeing as being some good matchups in that particular section?
Well, believe it or not, the first matchup that stands out to me is Maria Sharapova, who we forgot about. Her playing that French player, that Pauline Perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be an interesting match.
Yes, it will.
And especially in the first round, maybe 5-6 years ago, you would say this is easily Sharapova. But right now, I wouldn't say that's so much the case. And that Pauline, she's a scrappy little player.
I agree.
She will do some things. So that's the first one that jumps out at me from a first round standpoint. Belinda Bencic, she has Pavlyuchenko.
Yes.
Yep. Right? Yep. She has her in the first round. That's not going to be an easy match at all. And you know somebody else who we did not mention, but just is dangerous in this section? Mm-hmm. Kai Kanepi.
Yes, Kanepi is no joke. She's big hitter,
big hit, and plays really well on grass. Mm-hmm. So those are the ones that stick out to me initially.
Yeah, an additional one that I see as being at least interesting, and I'm going to try and throw out some USA love, would be Donna Vekic against Allison Risk. Risk actually has been playing well of late, and I feel like she is going to give Donna all that she can handle in that matchup. I do predict that Vekic will get the W, but I don't know. Allie's feisty, so I really think that one's going to be a really good first round match.
Well, and with Allison winning one of those warm-up tournaments, her confidence has to be high, and I think she beat some pretty good people on her way to winning that title. So
absolutely,
just that quarter of the draw alone would be a decent regular week tournament, right?
Agree. And that's just one quarter.
Right. And the thing that I don't like about this, though, and I know it just was, bad luck of the draw for most of these ladies, but what I don't like about this is that whoever comes out of this section, they may be a little worn. Yeah. Exactly. Because they're not going to have, really easy matches. They're not going to just slide through. So I hope that doesn't end up playing a major factor in how they play in the later rounds.
Right. And you're absolutely right, because they're just some major folks in this round. So it's going to be interesting who's going to come out of it for sure. Yeah. So anything else on this top half, Bryce, that we want to talk about? The top half of the first quarter of the top half, if you will.
No, just that every other woman in the draw is saying, thank goodness I wasn't put in that section.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So then we move down to the second half of the top half. And, they've got some relatively good names in there. You've got, Kiki Bertens, who is kind of leading off that area as the fourth seed. You've got Kvitova down there as the sixth seed, who unfortunately I heard is still kind of nursing a little bit of that arm issue. But we just hope that she's able to bring her best game. You got folks like Konta and Anna Samova. Our girl Sloane Stevens is down in that area. So not as many powerhouse folks as the top half of the top. But overall, they got some good names in there. Kind of thoughts in there, Brian?
Yeah, I agree with you. Whenever you have a section that has, Bertens and Kvitova and Anna Samova and Konta and Stevens, I mean, those are all, big names. So the issue comes in with that this is a grass court tournament, right? So, and it's funny because most of these ladies do play well on grass. Kvitova does. Kiki Bertens does. I don't really know about Anna Samova. I can't remember how she did last year on the grass.
I think she may have done, I don't know if she won Junior Wimbledon, but I feel like she done well on grass. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Konta.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We know she can play on grass.
Absolutely.
The one player in this section, though, whose grass court results may not have been as dynamic is Sloane Stevens.
Right.
Sloane Stevens, just with the athletic ability that she has, I would have thought she would be a better performer on grass. But I think she just gets kind of lazy a little bit on the grass. And she hasn't had really dynamic results out there yet.
Well, and I think that Sloane is very much like an Andy Murray. She plays great defense. She's a great athlete. But on grass, you are not awarded for defensiveness. You are awarded for being offensive. You have to be first strike tennis. And that, in my eyes, isn't really natural for Sloane. I feel like she's very good on hard courts because she runs around, she gets a lot of balls, and she'll pop a good forehand every once in a while. But I feel like she relies honestly too much on her defensive game, and I really wish she would be more aggressive because if she were, she would do much better on this surface. But I'm like you, I don't think that she's gonna unfortunately do as well as we want her to do at this Wimbledon. Her coaches are just gonna have to figure out how to coach her to be a bit more aggressive when she gets on this surface, and it's also footing. She's very much trying to run and get to every ball. On grass, you don't have that sure footing, so of course it's also going to lessen her ability to again play that good defense that she can play to win matches. So that's just my little thought on Sloane and the surface, but hopefully moving forward she'll get a little bit better.
Yeah.
So anything stand out to you, Bryce, as far as in that section, any matchups that you see that you might want to go after?
There are a couple lower end matchups that I'm looking forward to. One of them is Taylor Townsend versus Radianova.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a really good match, and I think it's an opportunity for Taylor to win that match. Now, she may end up facing Kiki Bertens after that, and that'd be all she wrote. But, she has a good chance of winning that first round match. I also like this matchup between Pekovic and Nicolescu.
Yes.
I think that could be a very interesting match. Strycova and Sarenko.
Yes.
Is another good match. Like I said, all of these matches are lower end matches. I don't really expect any of these players to go far. Right. But in terms of just matches that might be really fun to watch, I think those are a couple that I'm looking at. Maybe even that Siniakova and Alexandrova.
Yes. I think that one will be good as well. They've got a couple in here that are just, a lot of them, like you said, they're not the main, but I think some good matchups. I tell you what, Sloane better watch out for Timea Baczynski.
Yes.
Because Baczynski's got a very interesting, very clever game. She's out of Switzerland, so she got that Roger Federer love going on. And she's got a very tricky game. So if Sloane is not on, she will be back here in the USA getting ready for the hardcore season after that first round.
Exactly.
That one will be good in my opinion. And I tell you what, Anisimova and Kirstea. Remember, Kirstea used to kind of be they made a big deal out of her. And she was supposed to be big, but she didn't quite hit the way that everybody thought. But she still has a pretty strong game. So I anticipate that matchup against Anisimova as being a good one as well. So
I'm going to throw one more out there for you.
Yeah.
If Kvitova truly is not right, she's got that Jabeur in the first round, and she just did really well in a warm-up tournament this past week. So if Kvitova is not 100%, she may be susceptible to taking an L to Jabeur.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, I mean, just a lot of potential in that section of the draw. Very, very interesting. But we're going to go ahead and move now to the bottom of the draw, the top of the bottom.
That just sounds crazy.
That does sound really interesting, rather. So Pliskova, that is her section of the draw. And you've got some good names in there. In my eyes, this is the cake.
This is the cake section. Quarter, yes.
This is the cake quarter.
Sing your Rihanna song.
Cake. What? Because, you're right. I mean, listen, outside of Pliskova, I mean, you got like Shea Sue, who always has a very interesting game. Her game is just, I actually like watching her a lot because her game is just so very, like Fabrice Santoro-esque. It's very slicey, dicey, very interesting, and on grass, that can be a bit jarring.
And note that she plays Ostapenko in the first round.
Right, that's the popcorn. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, and the only reason why I might temper my expectations on that match is because, remember, Ostapenko had to retire last week. So I don't know the extent of her injury. If she's hampered any, Shui may run away with that. But if she's fine, that could be a really good match because you're talking about somebody as crafty as Shui is against the power, go 100% for my shot, Ostapenko type of play. That could be a really nice first round.
Exactly. You've also got some folks like Vondrousova, who is, of course, the finalist at the French Open. Sevastova's in there. Our girl Svitolina, Gael Monfils, is up in there. Sakari's up in there.
Yes.
Petra Martic. I mean, they've got some interesting names, but again, this by far is definitely the cake quarter.
Right. I think Pliskova, you can ride her into the semifinals.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yes,
Right.
exactly. I tell you, the first round match against Svitolina and Gavrilova,
Yes.
that will be good. That will be good.
That might be an upset.
feisty. Yes.
That might be an upset.
I agree.
That might be an upset.
Because Svitolina doesn't seem to be on her top game right now.
She isn't. She had to live in that gym life. But and for those of you that may not know what that means, she dates Gael Monfils, the French player, and they share an Instagram account, and they call it Gems Life. And Gems is spelled Gems, and the G is for Gael, the E is for Elena, which is what her name is. The M is for Monfils, his last name, and the S is for Svitolina, which is her last name. So they're doing the whole little cute, like, what did they used to call that thing? Bradgelina or something, when they combine the names.
Exactly.
So, anyway, I didn't want to leave y'all behind on that joke. And you're probably thinking it wasn't even that funny, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, we'll let them go and live that Jim's life. Right?
Exactly.
She gonna be watching Gael from the stand. Well, actually, I tell you what, Gael's side ain't much easier either. But we'll get to that when we get to the men's side.
Right. But like you were saying, Gavrilova, she's an Australian player who has played a lot on grass and is very comfortable on grass. And I don't know that Svitolina has always played with a lot of confidence on grass. So that just may be a really bad matchup for her.
I agree with you completely on that one.
The other matchup that I would tell you that I like in the first round there, though, is that Martic and Jennifer Brady.
Yeah, Jennifer's had some good results this summer.
Right. And I think like I said, don't expect either one of them to do a whole lot.
Right.
But just that matchup in the first round could be very entertaining.
And I have to throw a shout out to Heather Watson. Nice to see her back out and in the draw. I mean, I know that I don't know if she had to qualify or not. Well, actually, it doesn't look like she did. But I haven't seen her much in any of the draws. So the fact that she's back out, playing is a good thing. So, Heather Watson, she's all about, Great Britain. So that'll make the Brits very happy.
I think they gave her. Did they give her a wild card?
Well, see, that's the thing, because I would have thought I would have seen a
W by name. Yeah, and I don't.
See that. Yeah.
Because I haven't, like you said, I haven't seen her name enough to think that she would have qualified on her own.
I bet you she's probably been playing a lot of the not qualifiers, but what do you call those other tournaments? The smaller ones?
The satellites?
Yeah, I bet you she's probably been playing the lower tier, and she's probably been doing well enough to keep her ranking up, and that's probably why she got in. But I don't think she's ranked very high. She might be, maybe in the 80s or 70s.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think that her ranking is very, very high. But good to see her in the draw, though. I always like Heather Watson. She's feisty, so I like that.
And actually, I'm going to give you one more
match
that I think could be interesting in the first round.
Yeah.
And that would be Shelby Rogers and Kontaveit.
That actually, you're right. Because Shelby's got a big game. And I think that she can play extremely well on grass. So you're right. That's going to be a good first rounder. Very much so. All right. So that is the top of the bottom half. Now let's go to the bottom of the bottom. And I don't even have words for this particular quarter. It is ridiculous. All of the people that are in this quarter. Just to name a few. You've got Halep. You've got Kazatkina. You've got Madison Keys. You've got Sabalenka. You've got Wozniacki, Caroline Garcia, who just won a tournament, Naomi Osaka, of course. And then you've got the upstart, the new young lady, Coco Gauff, is in the draw, which is such a wonderful thing. I mean, she is prospering so well in the junior circuit, and to really be playing in Wimbledon is in the WTA top tier is just fantastic.
Well, she just made history. She's the youngest player to ever make the main draw. Wow. On the women's side. So, yeah.
That is
huge.
Amazing accomplishment.
Way to go, Coco.
Good job, Coco Gauff. I mean, this is so fantastic. And then to round out those names, you've got the Queen, And yes, we have two queens on this show, if you didn't know. One is Serena, and the other is Miss Venus Williams. And Venus is in this side of the draw, Bryce. And it hurt my heart when I saw the draw and I saw that first round. I do not want Venus Williams playing Coco Gauff in the first round of Wimbledon.
Let me tell you what, that's the second worst matchup that I could have seen. Obviously, the worst first round matchup for me could have been Venus versus Serena.
That's right.
This is number 2.
This is number 2. I completely agree. It just, I saw it and my stomach just knotted up immediately because I'm just like, God, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Right. I was really hoping that, once again, listeners, if you weren't aware, Coco Gauff, who's 15 years old, she went into the qualifying tournament, and in the first round, she beat the number 1 seed. In the last round of the qualifying tournament, she gave whoever that was she was playing 2 breadsticks. She lost a total of 14 games in qualifying, which is 3 matches. So I was really interested to see how far she may be able to go in this draw. Then get a really nice draw, get a couple of wins under your belt. I mean, that would have been awesome. I mean, it ain't going to happen because she's going to play Venus, but that would have been a really nice story. So we're going to have to settle for this year, her making the main draw at 15, huge.
That's huge.
Next year, let's come in and let's rock some things.
That's right. Let's do some things because unfortunately, Coco, is as much as I would love to root for you, I just really feel like Venus is just going to have to put the things on.
Ain't happening.
I'm just so sorry. But talk about a popcorn match. Folks.
Oh, yeah.
I want everybody, every listener, you better tune into that match because as much as I don't want to see it, we must support it. We must support it.
And I tell you what, for Venus, it is going to have to feel like a match playing her younger self.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, like her looking in a mirror playing herself 25 years ago.
25 years ago, exactly.
So, anyway.
Yeah, so that is definitely one that we didn't want to see, but because we are seeing it, again, we want folks to tune in and watch that match. Bryce, is there anything else? Of course, there are other things in this section because we've got so many of the names in this section. I mean, anything stand out to you as far as, somebody who's hot or any match outside of that Venus Coco match that we should really look at?
Well, you have Azarenka hiding in that draw.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about it. See?
Yeah.
So loaded, I even missed Azarenka.
Right.
Former number 1 Grand Slam champion. Crazy.
Exactly. So, she could always do some things. And, hey, you can't count her out any match. And, she's in a section where she would potentially go against Kasatkina as her first seed, who she can handle. Yeah. And I would love to see a 4th round match between her and Simona Halep.
I agree. I think that would be a fantastic matchup for sure. The one matchup which I have to talk about is that last one, Naomi Osaka and Putintseva.
Yes.
Man.
So all I'm going to say is going back to my prediction weeks ago. Listeners, holla if you hear me. I said Naomi Osaka may do a whole lot of things in her life, but one of the things she ain't going to do in these next 2 weeks is win the Wimbledon championships. And she got drawn to play Putintseva in the first round, who has her number and has her number on grass, and just beat her a couple weeks ago, like 2-3.
Yeah, it was a really bad defeat. It was not pretty whatsoever.
Now, Osaka can take this as an opportunity to get hyped and motivated, but I think she kind of in her feelings a little bit on her grass court play. And look, don't be surprised if at the end of the first round we're saying the women's draw is without their number 2 seed. Just saying.
That is going to be a very spirited match. That is all I am going to say on that one. Interestingly enough, with all of the names that we mentioned, the first round matchups aren't really that pronounced. It's basically once they get into the third round, it seems like that's when a lot of the matchups are just going to be outstanding in my opinion. And because personally, I filled out my draw. I got Holla versus Azarenka. I got Keys versus Venus. I got Wozniacki versus Garcia. Kenin, who I didn't even mention, who won a grass court tournament. And I actually have Kenin versus Osaka.
You just wrote down all the names that were bolded. That's all you did. You ain't do no research. You're like, if they name in bold and black, okay, I'm going to write that down. Except for Venus, right?
Except for Venus, come on.
Oh, please.
So that's where I'm at. Where you at, Bryce?
Oh, well, I tell you where Osaka will be. Osaka will be in Osaka, Japan by the time they get around to that round of the tournament you were talking about. But anyway, no, I think it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see Venus, break down Madison Keys. That's going to be a nice match to watch. But yeah, no, I think this is, like you said, this section. Why is it that the section that Serena's in and the section that Venus is in are the two hardest sections in the tournament?
I'm so annoyed with this draw. I have to be very honest with you. As diehard Venus and Serena fans, this draw just to me was not very nice. So I'm a little annoyed. But with that is the ladies' draw. And I know that we're going to save our picks and everything for later in the podcast. So, Bryce, what's going on the men's side?
Well, the men's side is very, very interesting. I don't know if listeners you were keeping up with the news, but this whole tournament started with drama just with the seeding of the guys. Rafael got his head all twisted when they bumped Roger Federer ahead of him for the number 2 seed instead of him and dropped him to the number 3 seed. And once again, Wimbledon is the one tournament, the one Grand Slam that will actually look at not only a man's ranking, but they will also look at what their previous results were specifically on grass. Right. I, in the past, have never really had a problem with that. To me, that makes a lot of sense. The grass court season is a very short season. It's a very different surface. And I think you should reward the people that have done well on the surface in the past.
That's right.
The place where I have the issue is I was mistaken. I thought they used that same process for both the men and the women. Right. And apparently they do not. Right. And so to me, I have an issue with that. Why would you not use the same process for the men's tour as the women's tour? The only difference is they're men and they're women. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if I were the women, I'd have a little issue with that. It sounds like they kind of do. But nonetheless, we're talking about the men's draw. And so Rafael, I don't know why he was surprised. This is not new. This is something they've been doing for years and years and years. He could have applied the formula himself and it seemed that, it looks like I'm going to be seated third right. Instead of having all this drama in the press. And then trying to get his boy Novak to come out there and support him in the press and all that. And Roger's just sitting on the side like, can we play?
Exactly.
Can we just get out here and play?
Get out of your feelings and let's just go ahead and play.
Right.
Because literally, my record is much better than yours at Wimbledon. I have 8 of these. You only have 2. I have done very well. You have gotten jollywopped a few times in the first round. Lucas Rosal. Hell, I think didn't Kyrgios beat him in the first round of Wimbledon? It was one of them rounds. And then what's the little guy's name from Belgium? Beat him in the first round. The little guy from Belgium. No. I always forget his name. I can't remember his name, but he took out Nadal in the early rounds of Wimbledon. He's old school. He's an old school Belgian player. But yeah, he knocked
Xavier Malisse?
No, it wasn't Malisse. It was, I can't remember.
It wasn't Sluter.
No. It's just, I'll do some research. I'm sorry, podcast folks. I should have done my research. But yeah, I'll pull up that name. But yeah. So, Nadal, come on now. You done lost a whole bunch of times in the first round of Wimbledon. I don't know why you would think that you would be seeded higher than Federer. So just get out your feelings, take that 3rd seed, and let's go and get with it. Come on now.
Exactly.
Come on now.
My feelings the same way. So anyway, let's get into this men's draw. And we have in the first quarter, which is Novak's quarter. You know, it's one of these situations for me where he's got the people in his draw that could cause him some problems, but they probably won't.
Right.
He has Cole Schreiber in the first round. Now, how crazy would it be if Novak Djokovic lost in the first round? Cole Schreiber has beaten him several times in the past, has beaten him a couple of times this year.
That's right.
But I think he even beat him once in the first round at Wimbledon, right?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Yeah, so look, Novak need to worry about getting out the first round. Now, once he gets out the first round, he may do okay. But he does have Ajay Aliassime. I don't know if he's ready yet to take out a Djokovic at a Grand Slam. Yeah. But, he's a dangerous player nonetheless. Gael Monfils, once again, has the talent to, don't know that he will. Medvedev, let me tell you, if there's anybody in this section who I think just has I'm not intimidated by any of y'all, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play my best ball, and I could end up on top at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Medvedev is someone who I think can really threaten Djokovic. Yeah. Once again, will he get it done? Probably not. Yeah. And then I learned my lesson after picking Tsitsipas to win the last two warm-up tournaments leading into Wimbledon, and he didn't get the job done then. I just don't know that it's going to happen this year. He may have a little bit of the Osaka thing going on. Like, he's a great player. He's got the skill set to do well. He just may not be ready on grass yet. He may be a couple of years away before really dominating on that surface. So I'm going to leave him be where he's at and not try to pump him up any more than that.
And who knows? He might do extra and surprise you.
This will be the one he really goes all the way to put egg on my face. Thanks, Stefanos. Anyway, so in that section, what are some key matchups that you like in there?
Oh, Bryce, there's so many. I see. First round, to me, first of all, talking about Felix, the fact that he has to play his countryman in the first round, to me, is just hilarious. But he's going to jollywop.
Oh, he'll jollywop him.
Who he going to be? He going to be like, thank you, Jesus. You gave me Pospisil? Oh, I'm about to get silly up in here. Let me tell you. But quietly, I'm more so looking at the potential matchups. Uh-huh. That second round against Felix and Grigor, I feel like Grigor is going to take care of Motet or whoever that person is. But Grigor against Felix second round, I just feel like that is going to be an outstanding match.
And it probably will be a good match. I definitely see Felix getting through that one, though. Now, remember, you got all hyped on Grigor before, and he took them lumps.
I know, right? I'm a little bit dumb here, but I feel like Felix and Grigor played the last time, and it was a tough match. I think Grigor may have learned a few things. And It goes back to what I was telling you in the last podcast. The fact that Felix is not coming to the net yet, and Grigor has the game that will pull him into that net, and if he's smart enough to do that, I have that as being an upset popcorn match. I really do. Okay. I think Grigor is going to take – it ain't going to be easy, and I think it will go 5. But I actually think Grigor might sneak that one out. And it's to my domain because, I'm an FAA fan all the way. Right. I love the dude. When I saw that little crack against, Feliciano Lopez, and he wasn't coming to net, wasn't putting his volleys away, to me, I think that that's something that can be exploited in his game on grass in particular. And I think Grigor has the talent to be able to do that. It will be interesting to see if he does it, if he actually executes against it. But if he does, I see him coming out of that match. I really do.
Well, we'll see how good Felix's coaching staff is. Correct. And if they picked up on that and made any adjustments going into Wimbledon.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, this is Novak's quarter, and we fully expect for him to get through.
Absolutely agree.
So, let's go down to the next quarter where things are not so clear. I like to call this quarter my Buster quarter.
The Buster quarter.
Well, because you got Kevin Anderson, who was in the finals last year, but has been out most of the year, right?
Correct. So you don't know where his game is.
Right. So his game, I don't expect to be super tight. Mm-hmm. You have Wawrinka in there, who's acted like he's been allergic to grass in previous years.
Exactly.
So you can't expect a lot out of him. Right. Raonic has the game to do well, but he's so special. Well, you don't know.
And like Kevin, he's sort of been injured, been kind of out, hasn't been playing. So we don't know where his game is in truth. So,
exactly. Mm-hmm. You have Hachinov, who's actually one of the ones I'm feeling the best about in this section of the draw, which is kind of weird for me.
Right.
Then, you have Benoit Paire.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryce, to divert. That's who beat Nadal, Steve Darcis.
Oh, Steve.
From Belgium. Darcis.
I know why I don't remember his name. But anyway, that's bad on Ross.
Sorry, but
you need to shut up and take his third seed. So then you have Bernard. I keep wanting to call him Bernard. You got me laughing in here today. Benoit Paire.
Yes.
You just don't know what he's going to do. He's all over the place, but he has Londero, who won the tournament last week in the first round, so he may not get very far out of that. And then you have Alexander Zverev in there, and you know what? I'm gonna be kind. I've been practicing trying to be a better person, and I am not going to just ride him like I normally do. I saw him on Instagram. There was a photo because I guess 5 of the 6 guys have already been named to the Europe team for the Laver Cup this year. Okay. So you had Fognini, who wasn't sitting very close to Nadal. And then you had Nadal, you had Thiem, you had Federer, and you had Zverev. Right. And Zverev had nerve to put a post talking about they looking to three-peat.
Oh, wow. You're talking big smack, and he...
Big smack for somebody who hasn't been putting a whole lot of points on the board. And then Kyrgios came behind that and was like, is that right, bro?
Oh, I want them to play.
Exactly, yes, right.
That will be good.
So anyway, my whole point here is that Zverev may be the number 6 seed. Good on him if he wins 2 matches in here.
And I don't see this half of the draw as being as I wouldn't call it the cake draw, but at the same time, I just feel like because you don't know where certain players are, that it could potentially be an easy draw. And honestly, and you're going to be surprised, I actually have him going pretty far. The fact that he got Lindell, they're at Wimbledon, he's going to be trying to live up to some expectations because, like you said on the last podcast, Lindell ain't going to be playing. He like, look, you either going to get results or I'm going to be out. And I just feel like with that level of pressure and the fact that there is a little bit of variability in that side of that quarter, I'm giving him a shot.
Actually, I'm not surprised that you picked him. But we'll be back.
I'm not sure how to take that, to be very honest with you.
But we'll be back to talk about that later. So anyway, let's go to the bottom half of the draw. And here's where we're starting to really have some good stuff come through.
Yes.
So in the top half of the bottom draw, you have, now when you talk about a popcorn first round match, you have Dominic Thiem, who hasn't really been a beast on grass yet, but he's been really improving.
Yes.
Playing Sam Querrey in the first round, who just comes alive during this part of the year every year.
That's right.
Hey. Over Redenbacher, that is a popcorn match like you would not believe for the first round.
I agree. Woo.
And then in his section, there were just some people that you got to keep a good eye on. Like, for example, Gil Simone.
Yes.
Who knew he was going to be playing so well on grass this year?
Exactly.
Good. I would keep my eye on him. Another popcorn first round match. Francis Tiafoe against Fabio Fognini?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
That is a crazy first round.
Let me tell you what, and for our listeners out there, occasionally what will happen in a tournament is you will have a player that just misses being seeded by a spot or two. And so that means they randomly get put in the draw. And so then you potentially have an unfortunate situation because you now have somebody who just missed being seeded playing a lot of the time somebody who's seeded. So this is really unfortunate for both Fonini and Tiafoe, right?
Exactly.
But one of them will progress to the next round, and one of them will be going home. So that's the luck of the draw.
It's gonna be a good match, though. Ooh, that's gonna be good. I can't wait to watch that one.
Then another first round match. You have Cilic against Mannarino, who just won his first title ever on grass.
Yep.
Great match.
Yes.
You have Denis Shapovalov.
Yes.
I mean, he's one of the up and comers. And then let me just drop these names on you real quick. Y'all already know my boy that I love, Joe Willie Tsonga, and he's had amazing results at Wimbledon. He's posed to just. I mean, he can come out of this court.
He absolutely could.
And then you have right below him, you have Nick Kyrgios.
Nick's back.
The guy who has the potential to win every single match he's in.
Exactly.
And if he wins his first round match against his countryman, Jordan Thompson, who I like Jordan Thompson, and he has a nice backboard game.
And made it to the final against Mannarino.
He did make it to the final, but if he lost to Mannarino, he's going to get skull-snapped by Kyrgios.
By Kyrgios.
He is. But if Kyrgios, or should I say when Kyrgios wins that first round match, he's going to win it because partly his motivation will be to meet Rafael Nadal in the second round.
Yes, and to get yet another W on him on the grass at Wimbledon. Boy.
I am going to find the day and the time that match is televised, and I am canceling any appointments that cross that time period because that is going to be potentially one of the matches of the tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to be tired going into work because I know I'm going to definitely watch that match. And I pray it doesn't happen too late, otherwise I might be calling in sick.
Right, exactly. So all those names we just named in that section. I mean, what are you thinking?
Oh man, those are going to be some incredible matches. I want to jump back to the team career matches. As much as Sam, I think Sam is great on grass, and I think that's going to be a fantastic first round. But I just believe that by team making it to the Wimbledon final and playing so well, I think he's had a little bit of time to kind of tighten. I'm sorry, the French Open final. Excuse me. By him making the French Open final, I think he's running on a bit of confidence, and I think that he's going to change up his game. And I honestly feel like he's going to get past Sam. I honestly have Dominique going pretty far in Wimbledon, just because his side is pretty cake. It's his portion up until like the fourth round, in my eyes, is a bit cake. But once he gets to quarters, it might be tight on him. But that bottom half, Bryce, I mean, it's just stupid. It's stupid. I mean, you've got the potential of having a Denis Shapovalov Tsonga second round and a Kyrgios Nadal second round. Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous.
Wimbledon is going to be great this year.
You better know it, sir. You better know it. So yeah, that section right there is just mean. I'm just looking forward to watching.
So the tennis guys decided to pay Rafael Nadal, this little lesson, gave him this little gift. He up there complaining about the seed he didn't get. He ended up with I think the roughest quarter in the whole tournament.
Absolutely agree. That quarter is rough, and if I'm being 100% honest with you, I do not see Nadal coming out of that.
No, I don't see him either. No.
I don't. I think between Kyrgios and between Tsonga, if he were to even potentially get past Kyrgios, which I don't think that he will, the fact that he would have to then play Tsonga and potentially have to play Cilic, I just don't see him making it through. I really don't. So really sorry for you, Nadal, but enjoy that French Open championship you got.
Right.
Because it's awesome.
Got that dozen.
Yes, sir. Got that dozen.
So let's go to the final quarter of the draw.
Yes.
The King's Quarter.
The King's Quarter.
There we go.
Yes.
Mr. Roger Federer, and can you please sing the Rihanna song for me, please?
Cake. What?
Roger Federer, look. If Roger Federer does not moonwalk to the semifinals.
Yes. Nice. I like that.
I mean.
Pay homage.
I mean. I mean, I mean, he got people in his section.
He does.
I mean,
but
okay, so let's talk about some people that have, I guess, a chance, right?
mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, we're not going to count the other big seed in that section, Caden Nishikori. He's always kind of like the filler in terms of the top 8 seeds.
He's there, but
yeah, ain't nobody thinking about Caden Nishikori. Then after that, you're looking at Struth.
Yes.
Now Struth has been playing really well. But Rogers kind of had his number.
Yeah.
Remember, we saw him play at the Australian Open.
That's right.
When we went, we saw Roger and Struth play the Thursday night match.
That's exactly
there
right.
in
2018.
Yeah.
We were at Australia in 2018.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, he has skill. I mean, Isner, we know Isner has the game, but he's just now coming back from injury. Right. He's not going to be ready. Right. Taylor Fritz, I must admit, he's doing much better than I thought he would be doing. I've never been crazy about his game, but I think Paul Annacone is really doing some very good things with him. Yes. I think he's going to go further than people expect. He's not going to go further than Federer, but I think he'll do well. And then you got other people like Berrettini, Schwartzman, Puig, Gasquet. I mean, these are all speed bumps.
Yeah, that's going to be a great first round, though. That Puig, Gasquet, I always like when the Frenchmen battle, so that's always fun. I think that one, to me, is going to be a good popcorn first round match. And I think Gasquet might end up pulling that upset. Because, Gasquet actually likes grass. He plays very well on grass.
He does.
So I do think that one is a potential first round upset.
I hope not. I like Puig.
I know you do. That's one of your boys.
That's one of my guys. We use the same tennis rackets, so...
There you go.
Well, he needs the bigger head size, but we use the same brand and same model, pretty much. Anyway, not shade, sorry. But anyway, I think Federer should, like I said, moonwalk to the semifinals here, and that'll be all she wrote.
I 100% agree with you. I think that it is about time that he gets a draw that he can really work with, especially at this stage. Right. So I'm looking forward to him playing some good tennis and seeing him throughout this fortnight.
So, what about predictions, Isaac? Let's go ahead and put our money where our mouth is.
That's right.
And
that's right.
let's walk us through that.
Right. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to talk about 4 categories as it relates to this Wimbledon draw. We're going to give you our dark horses on both the ladies and the men's side. We're going to tell you who in the top 10 we feel definitely will not win Wimbledon. We will then go into who do we want to win Wimbledon, and finally, who do we think is going to actually win Wimbledon. So 4 categories, Bryce. We got 4 categories. Dark horse. Let's start there. Who is your dark horse on the ladies' side? Do you have your dark horse yet?
I do have my dark horse, and my dark horse for the ladies is Joanna Konta. I think that she's got a good game. I think she's been playing pretty well. She's slumped out a little bit recently, but I think she's going to turn it around. I think she'll be at home. I don't think she's going to really feel pressure. I think she's going to feel the support of being there. Now, currently in the draw, I have her going out, making it all the way to the semifinals, and losing to Serena there. Okay. But she's beaten Serena before, so. So I give her my dark horse status.
Okay. All right. Very good. My dark horse, as interesting as it may sound, because I still feel like she's reeling from the fact that she had those 5 match points and couldn't convert, is my girl Ostapenko. I just have this weird feeling that she's going to do well. Based on where she's at in the draw, I actually have her going pretty deep. I have her actually making it to the semis as well.
Really?
Yeah, I have her making it to the semis because she's in that cake side of the draw with Pliskova.
Okay.
And I think if Ostapenko plays Pliskova, to me, that is a very winnable match because they are both big hitters of the ball. They both believe in first strike tennis. And if Ostapenko can actually get more of those first strike attempts, I feel like she will take out Pliskova. And I think that she will ride it into the semis. So, yeah, I actually have her making it to the semifinals of Wimbledon.
All right.
Crazy. I know it's crazy, but I'm far-reaching, as most of y'all know. So
Got-
yes, that is my dark horse on the ladies' side. Now, how about your dark horse on the men's side?
My dark horse on the men's side is, and this came really close to becoming almost who I wanted to win.
Okay.
It's Songa. I think Songa is coming through a section that is difficult, but he's got the right matchups, I think. I think he is one of the few people that I don't want Federer to play because I know he's not scared and I know he does have the game to beat him. I don't know if Songa will ever win a Grand Slam in his career. I mean, he made it to that one Australian Open finals, back then when gas was $2 a gallon. But I would just if Federer can't win it, I would love for Songa to do it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. That's just sentimentally that Songa boy. Woo, you gotta love Joe Wilfried. So I applaud that. That's a great dark horse. I actually kind of stepped out, and I don't know why I picked this young man, but I just feel like he's riding a really nice wave of confidence right now. Berrettini.
Oh, okay.
Berrettini. I think that there's just something about him. He's got a big game. Now, mind you, he's in Rogers' area.
Right.
So I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
But you just never know. So I'm calling him my dark horse only because, again, I think that he's got a lot of confidence right now. He's playing really, really good tennis. And I think if things just go kind of bizarre or bonkers, I think that he just might just, be that lucky one that comes out of it. So I've got him as the dark horse. Now let's talk about top 10 who definitely will not win Wimbledon. And we'll start off with the ladies. Who do you have?
This was so easy for me. It took me all of 0.2 seconds to come up with this. It's Osaka. I mean, yeah, Osaka will not make her see. Oh, wait a minute. She's seeded number 2, right?
Yes.
Which means she's supposed to make it to the finals.
Correct.
Not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. We should actually have a bet here on what round she's going to actually go out versus her actually winning the tournament. Once again, this is no shade. It's not hating. This is just based upon the facts and what I've seen and where it looks like her head is at. I do like Osaka, and I do think she is going to be a better grass court player in future years. This just ain't her year.
It's not her year. Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. I didn't pick her, though, because I feel like there is someone else in the top 10 that is more at risk than even Naomi Osaka, and that is Svitolina. I think she is living that Jim's life like you was talking about.
Right.
And simply put, I just don't think she's ready. I don't think her results have been very good up to right now, so she can't be riding much confidence. Grass is not her best surface. Again, I see her being more impactful on hard courts. So I just think overall, Svitolina is someone that I just don't see getting anywhere close to the Wimbledon final and or championship. So that would be my vote. Okay. And how about on the men's side? Who is your top 10 or who you definitely do not see winning Wimbledon?
Look, I'm going to have the whole country of Japan coming for me because I know I picked Osaka to go home, and she needed to take her cousin Kei with her too because Kei Nishikori, per usual, ain't going to do nothing, right? He'll win his customary couple of rounds and be around for some, publicity events and, pick up some endorsement money. But don't get your heart set on Kei Nishikori doing anything.
That is mean, Bryce. Why are you being so mean to Kei?
Look, he can read his file as well as I can. There is nothing in that folder that would indicate to me that in 2019 he is going to have a breakout Wimbledon.
Yes, I have to agree with you there. Now, for me, and it's funny, now that I heard you say Kei, he rings a bell, and that probably should have been my top tenner. But funny enough, as much praise as I gave this individual while we were reviewing the draw, I actually do not see him getting anywhere close to winning Wimbledon, and that is Dominique Thiem.
Right.
Even Dominique is my boy. He's great on clay, but when you get against the big boys on grass, I just feel like he is going to get straight setted and sent back to Austria with a quickness.
And quietly, like I said, it could happen in the first round.
It very well could.
With Sam Querrey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as much, like I said, I gave him praise, and I do love his game, but unfortunately on grass, I see him not being the one that can lift this title. Not just yet. He needs a few more years, in my opinion. So, all right. Now the fun part. Who do you want to win Wimbledon?
Now, if we do this section every Grand Slam, my answer here basically is not going to change until they retire, right?
Right.
So I'm going to say this one time, and then maybe in future shows I'll just be like, ditto.
Just ditto.
All right? Because I don't need to repeat myself every time.
Right.
So for the women, it's Venus. I always want Venus to win.
Yes.
If Serena doesn't even get to where Margaret Court is, she got enough. I would love to see Venus get more.
Yes.
But here's the one time I will always answer you with two people. It's really the Williams sisters.
Yes.
So if you had me to pick one, I'm going to say Venus. But if Venus can't win it, I want Serena to win it. I always want the one of the two of them to win it. Venus more than Serena.
That is very fair. And of course, because she's our queen, it's Venus for me as well. I mean, folks, I Venus is just, I don't know. I feel like she's been such a trailblazer as it relates to the ladies' game. And don't get me wrong. We know the Billie Jean Kings. We know about, oh gosh, I'm forgetting her name. First sister to win Wimbledon.
Oh, Althea Gibson.
Althea Gibson. How can I forget Althea? I mean, we've had some pioneers. But when Venus came in the game, like I said, she came in, beads, confidence, y'all get out my way. Right. And I have loved that since the beginning. So for me, I'm like you. I'm just going to say ditto. Because I want Venus basically to win everything that she enters.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to Wimbledon. Mm-hmm. So truthfully, if Venus and Serena were to meet in the final,
mm-hmm.
I would be like, Venus, you need to beat that skull up.
Right. Hey, I'm totally with you on that.
And Serena, I love you, honey. You will always be someone that I continuously root for, and I want you to get the Grand Slam tally and pass it. But when it comes to Venus, I got to vote on my girl Venus to get that extra Grand Slam, especially at Wimbledon. Because it was hers. I mean, Wimbledon was Venus's. Right. Of all the other ones, Serena had all the other ones, but Venus was Wimbledon. So I don't see that changing. So,
and I need Venus to pass up Justine.
That's right.
And
they're tied.
Yeah, Justine Enna.
Yes.
On the Grand Slam total list. I don't like her being tied with her. Little Justine, little mini Celine. Can't stand her either.
How about the men, Bryce? How do you think? What about the men?
Ooh, I know this is going to shock everybody. But the king, Roger Federer, of course that's who I want to win. Why? Because he's Roger and he's the people's champ. And he is, this would be his 9th title. And it would also give him another leg up on Nadal and Djokovic, who are, hot on the chase. And I think Wimbledon means more to Roger than any of the other Grand Slam tournaments. And, I want to see him do it.
There you go. And honestly, folks, I won't bore you with any of the extra rhetoric. Federer is my guy. He will always be my guy. So I also ditto everything that Bryce just said there.
Now, we understand this may be a little boring for some people that we're not picking, different people that we like. But this is who we like.
That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah. I ain't going to tell you I want Sakari to win when I really want Venus to win,
Exactly.
It ain't that kind of party.
Now, this is another fun part, and this is kind of the wrapper, if you will, on this preview show, Bryce. So, when you think about who do you think will win, what I'd like for you to do is let's start with the women. And I want you to go through each of your quarters. So talk about who you see meeting in the quarterfinal matches, in your semifinal match, in the final and who you see winning. So let's go ahead and start with the ladies, and we'll go ahead and start with that top half of the draw, which is Barty's. So who do you see making the quarters in the top half?
I have Ash Barty versus Serena Williams.
Okay.
And then Kiki Bertens versus Joanna Konta.
Okay. Any dialogue you want to add to that, or?
I just think they are the four best in terms of being on grass and how they're playing at this time, and injuries considered and all that kind of stuff. Those are the four I feel most confident about. I am picking Serena to beat Barty to make it to the semis, and for her to face Konta, for her to take out Bertens to face Serena in the semis.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, top half. So my top half, and I know you're gonna want to punch me, but it's again who I think is going to win versus who I want to win.
Okay.
So who I have in the quarters, I actually have Barty playing Kerber.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I have that, and like I said, it hurts my heart. But
okay, go ahead.
It hurts my heart to make this selection. But without seeing Serena and the fact that she has to play Angie Kerber ain't scared of Serena. Angie Kerber knows how to drag Serena around the court and expose her for her fitness. So if Serena's fitness is not tight, Angie Kerber, in my eyes, will beat Serena. And I don't know if Serena's fitness is right. And it hurts my heart to make that prediction. But unfortunately, I just have to kind of go with Kerber in that particular matchup.
Okay.
So I have Barty versus Kerber, and I actually then have Kiki Bertens versus Joanna Konta.
Okay.
And then I have Barty and Konta making it to the semis, and I actually see Barty making it to the final.
All right.
Okay. So how about your bottom half for the ladies? Who do you have there?
So in the bottom half, I actually have Sakari meeting Pliskova.
Okay.
And then at the bottom, I have the Queen, Venus, against Kenneth.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Any dialogue? How do you want to give some insight on that one?
The bottom was a little trickier. Obviously, I'm looking at some upsets in here. I think that Pliskova is going to take out Sakari and make the semis against Venus, who I expect to take out Kenin, because not many players beat Venus or Serena back to back.
That's right.
And I think if Venus gets an opportunity to play Kenin in the quarterfinals, Kenin having taken out Serena at the French will be the motivation she needs to go ahead and take care of her.
I understand.
So
that's your quarter.
That's my, yes.
Okay. So once again, here's Isaac's quarterfinal, which I know you're not going to, once again, you're going to want to punch me in the throat. I actually have Sevastova. I like that. I actually have Sevastova against Ostapenko. I know. But I think Ostapenko.
Are you looking at the Wimbledon draw? Are you looking at the tournament from last week?
Okay, I know this is weird, but I don't see that because that draw is so cake. It's so cake on that side. That's why I wish Venus and or Serena were in that side of the draw. But unfortunately, because they are where they are, I picked Sevastova versus Ostapenko, and I actually see Ostapenko making the semifinal. On the other quarter, again, which is, it hurts my heart to do this, but I actually see Halep against Garcia. So I think Venus is actually going to make it to the fourth round because I see her beating Sabalenka. I see her playing Madison Keys and beating Huskov. But here's the deal. Halep is someone she enjoys pace and she can absorb pace and she can move Venus around the court, even on a grass court. That concerns me. If it's a big hitter that Venus is going against, I absolutely think Venus will win any of those matchups. But against Halep, I just think that Halep will be able to absorb what Venus is given or sending her way, and that she'll be able to unfortunately get past her. So I think Halep will get past Venus, and I actually see Garcia playing Osaka in the fourth round. Now, mind you, folks. So I, unlike Bryce, feel like Osaka has some good fight in her. Even though she does not know how to play on grass, sometimes when you have that fighting spirit, that can make up for certain weaknesses. So I first of all see her getting past Putintseva, because Putintseva put them things on her and she's gonna be wanting revenge. So she's gonna get past her. And then it's gonna be Kenin. And I think that she pretty much knows that Kenin is like on this high run. She's gonna come in that match prepared. And I really, really think that she will take out Kenin, but then she is going to end up losing to Garcia because Garcia is on a really nice run.
She is.
I like how she's playing these days. I think she's fully confident. And so for me, I see Holla playing Garcia, and I actually see Garcia pulling the upset and getting to the semifinals. So I think it will be, weirdly enough, Ostapenko versus Garcia, and I see Garcia making Wimbledon final.
How random. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this will be real interesting to follow this.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting. So of your final, who do you think is going to take the Wimbledon trophy?
So I expect in the semis for Serena to beat Konta, and for unfortunately Pliskova beating Venus.
Okay.
And I am going out on a limb and saying that at Wimbledon 2019, Serena ties their all-time Grand Slam record.
All right, Bryce.
I'm going out there. Serena, don't make me look foolish out here now. Ain't nobody got no time for that.
Serena, don't make him look foolish. Because I'm all about his draw. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see you in there. For me, who I have, of course, is Barty versus Garcia. And I see Barty actually taking this and getting her second Grand Slam championship.
And I'm going to tell you what. Behind Venus, Serena... I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Barty might be the next person that I would want to win.
I'm with you. She's very high on my list as far as people that I am looking forward to cheering for and supporting going forward. So I agree with you. So that is our picks, Bryce. So let's go on ahead and jump on to the men's side.
Mm-hmm.
So men, who is your dark horse on the men's side? Or no, I'm sorry. We already went through that. See, I'm crazy. Folks, you have to forgive me. I lose my brain sometimes. Who do you think is going to win? And let's start with the quarterfinal matchups.
Right.
Sorry about that.
So for the men in the quarterfinals, I have Novak Djokovic meeting Medvedev.
Okay.
And then I have Raonic meeting Khachanov.
Oh. I'm beginning to wonder if you're not more of a Karen Khachanov fan than I am, because you pick him more than I do.
No, he in the cake side of the draw. If he was in one of the other sections, I probably wouldn't be calling his name. But since he got, I call that the Buster section of the.
That's right. The Buster section.
Yeah, he not. No.
Very nice. All right. So that's your quarterfinal matchups.
Yes.
Okay. I actually have Novak versus Goffin.
Okay.
And the reason I picked Goffin was because of what Goffin did to Berrettini and those. Oh, and Zverev. Because didn't he beat Zverev and beat somebody else in the Halle tournament? He surprised me.
It wasn't nothing beating Zverev, but you act like he done did something.
I feel like he is going to be able to handle up on Medvedev. I really think he'll be able to absorb his stuff and make it to the quarters, because that's whoever wins that match, in my opinion, will make the quarters.
That'd be a good match.
Yeah. And then on the bottom half, like you, I have Milos, but I actually have Milos playing Zverev. I haven't played Sasha.
So you have Raonic versus Zverev.
Yes, okay. I think Sasha, like I said, I think this is finally going to be his good Grand Slam where he gets some results. Don't prove me wrong, Sasha, because come on now. Don't prove me wrong, but we'll see. Because quite honestly, if you lose early, you might want to start looking at some coaches.
Right. Ivan is not gonna be. Ivan gonna be like, come to the training session. Come to the training center. Everything you got in the box to the left. You know. Just go ahead.
I know that's right.
Move on out.
Left to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. Love it, Bryce. So of those quarters, who do you see making the semis?
I see it being Novak versus Hachinov, believe it or not.
Right on, right on. And funny enough, I see Novak versus Zverev. So
Okay.
it looks like we got some of the upstarts
We do.
versus Novak. And so that's good stuff. Now, how about the bottom half? Who do you see in the quarters of the bottom half?
So this is where I have my Isaac type predictions, right?
Why they gotta be Isaac type
Those
predictions?
eyebrow raising predictions. I actually have Query versus Songa.
Wow. Nice.
And the first quarter.
Okay.
And then in the next quarter, I have Fritz versus Federer.
Wow.
Yeah, I told you it felt very Isaac-like.
Yeah, you was reaching. You reaching like me. All right. Yes. I'll reach out there, friend. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, we stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, those are pretty stretched though. But quietly, I'm not mad at your picks. For me in the quarters, I picked actually Dominic Thiem versus Cilic. And here's my whole thing. I think Kyrgios will beat Nadal.
Uh-huh.
I think Tsonga will beat Kyrgios. And I think after all of that, I think Cilic, because mind you, Cilic is a two-time Wimbledon finalist or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
He knows his way around on grass.
Yeah.
So I just feel like of anyone, he is going to play Joe very hard. That will be a five-setter, but I think Cilic is going to end up edging him out just a little bit in that quarterfinal. And then the bottom one, like you said, I didn't know who to pick in there. So I just went with, John Isner. Anytime you got that big ass serve,
Right.
I mean, come on now. It's hard to vote against his serve on
Right.
grass. And so I have him, of course, versus Roger in the quarters. So those are my quarters. How
Okay.
about your semi?
My semis, I have Songa actually taking out Query.
Nice.
And I have Federer taking out Fritz.
So you have Tsonga and Roger playing again.
Songa and Roger again.
Ooh, that scares me.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
That's a good matchup for them on this surface.
You're exactly right. And like I said, the way Joe has been playing,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take a big effort
Right.
for him to lose to anybody.
And-
so I agree.
And let me tell you something that is going to benefit Songa is that these are best 3 out of 5 set matches.
Yes.
So occasionally Songa gets a little off and he goes on a little bit of a walkabout and will lose a set here and there. But best 3 out of 5 gives him an opportunity to, turn it right back up.
Reset.
And
Exactly. Get turned up again. Exactly. Yeah. So it's similar to you. I actually see Cilic and Roger making it to the semis. So
okay.
Yeah. And how about your final and your overall pick?
So my final, I have Novak versus Federer, which some people may say, oh, that's, like Isaac picking the black bowl name. That's number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. But I think that's what it's going to come down to, right? But where, I'm going to maybe take the underdog, if you will, by the seedings. I would take Federer against Djokovic.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why I am more nervous about Nadal against Federer in a final and more nervous about Djokovic against Federer in a semi.
Interesting.
I feel more comfortable with Federer with Nadal in a semi, and at a final, I feel more comfortable with him against Djokovic.
Interesting. Okay. That's a good prediction, brother. Nothing wrong with that. On my side, I of course see Roger making the final, but here's where Isaac stretches again. Remember, I had Novak versus Zverev.
Uh-huh.
Zverev has beaten Novak before.
Uh-huh.
I honestly believe Zverev will beat Novak Djokovic and make his first final of a Grand Slam. I do.
Or you smoking crack.
I,
But anyway, all right. I support you in your beliefs. Mm-hmm.
So I have Roger playing Zverev,
Uh-huh.
and I have Roger, of course, taking out Zverev to take Wimbledon and his 21st Grand Slam championship. So I
You
pick
have
Roger.
what happening?
I have Roger beating Zverev.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I heard that wrong.
I know you gave me that look like, I'm like, no, brother. Come on now. It's Roger. So, no, I have Roger beating Sasha.
Made my birth sinus hurt.
Yes, I believe Roger will get number 21 at Wimbledon.
Good.
I really believe, because, again, he's got a cake draw.
Mm-hmm.
He's in great form. He's in a great mental state. There is absolutely no reason why he shouldn't go through this draw and take this title.
Well, I'll tell you what, Isaac, it is going to be exciting watching all these matches. And which even more exciting is we don't have to wait until the second week for great matches. We identified about 8 really good first round matches that are going to happen across the next couple of days.
Yes.
I'm going to be glued to the TV. I'm so glad that there's a time difference because I got to go see Spider-Man on Tuesday night. So I'll have to watch tennis all day, and then I can sneak out and see Spider-Man Far From Home on Tuesday night.
Oh, I hate you.
Hey, look, everyone. We hope you've had a really good time listening to us today, and and the thing that we would like to advocate for all of you is just go out there and watch the tennis. This is a really good time in the sport, and go out there and watch the matches, and get to know the players. That way, even listening to this podcast maybe becomes even more enjoyable for you.
Absolutely.
Another thing that can help you with that is becoming a part of our online family. And we're starting to really build up our presence on a lot of the social media sites. And so we want you to go out there and give us a like, follow us, become a friend with us on different sites like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We've just recently joined iTunes and iHeartRadio. We are also soon to be on Google Play. So we're out there. Find us and give us a like, give us a review. Tell us what you think. We would really appreciate it.
That's right, y'all. Come on out and support us.
Right. So with that, enjoy the tennis. We will check back in with you next weekend. The middle Sunday during Wimbledon is, unless they're really, really behind on matches due to weather, it's typically off. So Isaac, maybe we'll get together next Sunday, give a midweek, mid-tournament review.
Yeah.
See how we're doing up against some of our picks.
Right.
I'm sure that'll be fun. And that'll give us an opportunity to reconnect with the listeners next week.
Absolutely.
So, hey everyone, signing off. This is your boy Bryce.
This is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Have a good one, everyone.